Hi, my name is Nolima Tigela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today, I want us to talk about the Senzo Meyiwa case and all the alarming things that you can find in that courtroom of Judge Ratamo Kgwatleng. But before we do that, guys, please make sure you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you are doing that, you are supporting this channel financially and in numbers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Now, there is something very, very wrong. Okay, there is something deeply wrong with this case. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. In the Senzo Meyiwa trial, murder trial, the state wants the public to believe something extraordinary. Investigator, aka Sizwe Zungu, because now we discovered through the cross-examination of Makosonke Zongo that he was investigator, because that is what he told Makosonke Zongo. Investigator Sizwe Zungu says that while gathering facts, he discovered that he himself was at the hostel on the night Senzo Meyiwa was killed. But he's busy gathering facts. Listen to this, hear me out. Meyiwa was killed, and not that someone identified him. This is now investigators. No one identified him. He told the court this. Not that evidence pointed at him or placed him there, but years later, he remembered himself into the entire situation. Like, no, man, I was there. Then, boom, in 2023, he decides, nearly a decade after the murder, he writes a statement. He decides, let me write a statement. Let me pen it down, and concludes that he is the key witness into solving this entire situation. The entire saga, he can solve it because he, Constable Zungu, is the key witness. Let that sink in. I don't know if you are following me. And this was allegedly a large gathering that he was at. Multiple people were present, including the 5 accused men. And all of these people are still alive, including the 5 accused and this other so-called homeboys from Guanongoma, according to Constable Zongo. People are still alive. The people that he mentioned there, they are alive, except for Sinako, whom he said died in 2014. Yet somewhere in 2024, 2025, he finds himself standing alone as the only state witness. But he was with so many people, the homeboys, at Basutuni Hostel. No supporting witness, no independent corroboration, no contemporaneous statements. Okay. Ugininda claims that there were statements that were supporting Zungu. Okay, let me put it that way. And here is where things get very tricky. Just one investigator who years later becomes the star witness of his own investigation. I don't know if you get that. I'm not sure. And here where it gets really uncomfortable. Around 2020, the state was under visible pressure, public pressure, because every year the country was asking what happened to the Senzo Meyiwa case. Legal pressure, especially from AfriForum now, because the Meyiwa family went and approached AfriForum, who openly questioned why there was no witnesses and no credible evidence regarding that night when Senzo Meyiwa was killed. Then, boom, all of a sudden, a witness appears, Constable Zongo. Not from the community, not from the hostel, but from inside the investigation itself. From investigator to eyewitness, or yes, to eyewitness when it comes to the side of the accused. From no memory to detailed recall. From no case to a case resting on one man. If this was a movie, it would be a plot twist in a murder trial. And it's a red flag. A red flag. But Baloyi Ginenda allowed it to come into the courtroom. Because justice is not built on convenience, and truth does not arrive on demand. And that is what happened here. We ended up having a Zungu that saw the accused not executing the murder, but acting suspicious as if they are coming from there. And one of them eventually, same night, gets up and say, "Oh, by the way, did you hear that Senzo Meyiwa died?" And he also claimed this event happened on the 26th of October, 2014. It was a Sunday. He adds Makosonke Zungu into the mix. He adds Gwabini Zungu in the mix. He adds the accused in the mix. He says it was 2014. Now the accuser, like, I was never in the Basotho hostel at that time in 2014. Ntanzi is like, I was not even near the hostel at that time. I was not. And Uma Kosonke is like, I was never in hostel. I did not even know this man go 2014. I did not even know Ntanzi go 2014. I did not even know I choose 2, 3, 4, and 5. Makosonke says. And then Gwabini says, I don't even know I choose 3 and 5. I don't know them at all. It was such a shock, guys. Such a shocking situation. Because, wow, this man, the entire constable says that he saw the 5 men planning, doing up and down, going to kill Senzo. This is not a minor inconsistency. It is a structural defect in the state's case, guys. The state alleges a gathering involving multiple individuals. Those individuals are alive and traceable, yet none are called to confirm, contradict, or contextualize Zungu's version. None of them. As a result, the state case rests on a single witness who was also an investigator who self-identified as present without independent corroboration after significant public pressure regarding the absence of evidence. This raises unavoidable legal events, post hoc reconstruction of events, which is exactly what Makosonke and Gwabini are saying, because they're saying this constable says this in some of this incident regarding him and them in the hostel happened in 2014, whereas we met him for 2017. So in a nutshell, Constable Zungu took details of 2017, all the events of 2017, and put them in 2014. That's what he did. After a significant public pressure regarding the absence of evidence, this is what happened. This also raises confirmation bias within the investigation, also raises unavoidable conflict between investigative and testimonial roles, also leads us to unavoidable failure to secure best available evidence. Yet, Zungu claims he was not the only one there. Courts have repeatedly warned against convictions founded on uncorroborated single witness testimony, particularly where that witness emerges late and where better evidence is available but not led. The question is not whether Sizwe Zungu believes his version. The question is whether the state can discharge its burden when no other witness presented anything or are presented by the state, when no contemporaneous records support his presence, and the witness only becomes central after the case is under pressure. In law, this is not proof beyond reasonable doubt. It is a case built on necessity, not evidence, and necessity is not a legal standard. And Baloyi knows this. Baloyi knows this, yet he continued and did what he did. It's shocking, to say the least. It's utterly shocking. I cannot believe what happened there. I cannot believe what happened there, honestly. Wow, Sanalam. So we are all here because one single witness decided he's gonna come and do all of this. I don't believe it. I cannot believe Abo Baloyi also took it, like someone who has so much experience, took it upon himself to deal with a case in this kind of manner. What was the plan? Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.